Hello, everyone. Victor Johnson here, career facilitator with Goodwill Columbus. Please remember we are currently streaming on both Facebook and YouTube, and that Goodwill Columbus Workforce Development is your free resource for everything job related. If you're looking for a job right now, if you want to change careers and need assistance, or if you just need training to get into your next best career, we can help. So reach out to us through email, phone, or Facebook Messenger, and we can connect you with a career consultant. And I will be running our information, our contact information, at the bottom of the screen today. So today I wanted to talk about that question that you get in an interview where they ask you this. And just excuse me a second while I get into this interview that I'm having right here.
What is your greatest weakness?
You ever had that question in an interview? It's not very nice when you're trying to figure out an answer. So what do? Two things. One, you relax. Two, you listen to this advice that I'm going to give you on answering the weakness question. And if you practice this, practice your answers for interviews, you know, they will go a lot smoother, and you'll lose some of that anxiety about being in the interview. So how do we answer this weakness question? You know, so here we go. I'm going to show you here as soon as I get my screen up. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. You can use the CAR method. I don't know if you remember, but we've had some presentations on using the CAR method to answer situational questions like, tell me about a time when you had to work with a difficult customer. And then you give the context, the action, and the result. Well, you can do the same thing with the weakness question. You're going to give context, action that you took, and the result. So let me just describe the situation. You know, you just get that question, and this is for me now. I got this question, what's your greatest weakness? So my answer is, there was a time when I was working at a university and we had several grants their reports were due to the federal government at the same time. That's the context, okay? So what I did was I talked to my supervisor and I talked to my coworkers. What I was looking for were, you know, their hints or their tools or strategies for working on multiple projects, you know, especially ones that had pending dates or that were, you know, rush things that had to be done really quickly. Okay, so that's the action I took. Asking about what people had done before or what they do in these situations. Also, part of my action is I split up my calendar. And what I did was I devoted the first 2 hours of the day to the most pressing grant report. So I gave that one 2 hours, and then each other grant report got an hour, you know, after that. So basically, I had a 2 hour block for one grant, and then 4 1 hour blocks for the other grants. Okay, and then at the end of the day, after I'd done all my grant stuff, I still had 2 hours that I could use to catch up on my regular work so that I didn't fall behind. So doing that, every time I finished a grant, I would move the next one up. So when I finished the one that was in a 2 hour block, I'd take one of the other grants and move that up to the 2 hour block. And in that way, got everything in on time, and it really looked good. And I didn't fall behind on my other work. So I told you what the context was, what the action was, and what the result was. You know, I got all the work done, the reports got in, and everything was looked good, okay? What did I just do? The CAR method: context, action, result. And here's the thing I want you to remember. There are 4 things I really, really want you to remember when you're using this, the CAR method. When you're answering that question, what is your greatest weakness? Remember this: everyone has flaws. Everyone. The worst thing you can do in an interview when someone says, what's your greatest weakness, is say, I don't have any. Everyone has flaws. Here's the thing: turn your flaws into strengths. Are you doing that? You should be. Everyone should be. You know what the things are that you need to improve in. So you should be improving them. That way, if you ever get this question in an interview, you are being truthful about what you're working on, okay? Use the CAR method, give them the context, the action that you're taking, and the result. And then never repeat the word weakness. People have a tendency to respond to the strongest word in a sentence. And in any sentence, if I start with weakness, if I started with my weakness is, that's the strongest word in the sentence. Everything after weakness is going to be related to weakness. So even if I work through it and I turned it into a strength, the impression is going to be weakness. And, when that person is talking to someone else and they're, say, well, talk about some of the interviews you had, like this Victor Johnson guy. What was his weakness? Well, his weakness was time management. The end. Okay. But from the way I told that, with the context, the action, and the result, probably what's going to happen is someone's going to ask, well, what's his greatest weakness? Well, he's worked on time management, and he's got a good system now for getting through all the work and making sure everything's done on time. There's a difference in how people perceive you based on the words you use. So remember, when you're answering that question, do not repeat the word weakness. Start right off talking about what you are turning into a strength, and how you're doing it. Last thing, be truthful and honest. When you talk about what you're working on, it should be something that you're actually working on. And remember what I said, everyone has flaws, and we should be working on our flaws to turn them into strengths. So always be honest and truthful in an interview. But remember, this is the best way I've found to answer the question, what is your greatest weakness? There may be others out there, but the thing is, whatever you find, practice, practice, practice. That way, when you hear that question in an interview, you don't get nervous, you're ready for it, and you can get through that answer right away and do your best. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you, our Facebook and YouTube page watchers. Please like the Goodwill Workforce Development, Goodwill Columbus, Workforce Development Facebook page, and you'll receive updates on resources and other helpful job search assistance. And if you want a free resume or interview consultation, you can schedule it by contacting us at the the email address and the phone number below. And we will set up an individual session with a career consultant for your needs. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Goodwill Columbus Workforce Development.